G'day everybody, it is so good to see you today. Now I am fresh off a shoot with a client, and in this video I want to talk about why I love the Z6 and the Z7 so much as all-round hybrid cameras for a guy who does work like me. So let's jump into that. So let me tell you a little bit about what we were shooting. We're working for an investment company who provides funds for burgeoning scientific ideas, and we needed to make a 1 to 2 minute video in order to pitch what they do to the Asia Pacific area. Now, the reason we were making this video, and we had to make it in a real hurry, we had 4 or 5 days to do it, is because the people in the company can now no longer travel to that part of the world at the moment. So suddenly we had to make a video to fit their needs and to pitch what they do so that they can get on with business even without traveling. So it's so exciting to be able to create this sort of thing for people. There's something that YouTube really trains you for. It trains you for quick turnaround times. So why do I love working with the Z6 and the Z7 so much? Photographically, for the sort of work I do, I'm getting the same experience because I don't do sports, I don't do fast moving subjects, I don't do wildlife. So I'm getting the same outcomes photographically. And just as a quick addendum, I did a photo shoot last week for a council here in Melbourne using the Z7 for the entire shoot. Absolutely fantastic, and it was perfect. And it was largely architectural, there were hardly any people in it, but fast moving, completely irrelevant for me. So the camera worked a dream. I love how the Z lenses pretty much squash chromatic aberration, pretty much squash ghosting. So some of my favorite type of shooting, which is shooting into backlight, just simply isn't an issue. So with this shoot that we were shooting last night, I was shooting from 1 o'clock and I had to go to a special clean room, which was about half an hour out of town, where they create silicon chips, and they can create chips like CPUs. They said they could even create, right there, they could fabricate the chip used in the iPhone. They are now down to a 7 nanometer process. So when you're in that sort of facility, there's no dust allowed. So I had to put on this full suit, booties, hats, masks. So that was the start of the shoot. We spent about 2 hours there just getting a little bit of B-roll. Then from there, we went to the city to get more B-roll, which included real people from the tech incubator, which is fantastic. We spent about 3 hours on location, on the streets and by the river. We are shooting on the Z6 4K, sometimes a DX, sometimes not. We've got the F to Z and the 70 to 200 2.8, and we're down here on the beautiful Yarra River. This is what we do sometimes, shooting in 4K. It's great. All right. And then this morning, we ended up in the HQ of the incubator, which is a shared office space. Fantastic. Although we did have some issues around sound, which was lots of fun. It was an interesting social experiment. Here we are clearly recording, someone talking, but strangely enough, people didn't really make a great effort to be quiet. In the end, it caused us to come up with a very interesting solution, which was they have booths where people can go inside this booth and make a phone call without anybody hearing it. And in the end, we ended up recording a lot of the sound, most of the voiceover in this space. So that's the last 24 hours of shooting. Why is the Z6 and the Z7 so good? They're so great because I can get the stills that I've always been able to get, as well as getting this absolutely beautiful 4K video. And the more I use this equipment and the more I see the difference between the F mount glass and the Z mount glass, I just have a more profound and clear understanding of how much better it is in diverse situations. And this is really only something that can be gleaned from lots of experience in lots of different types of lighting situations. But on this shoot, I've used both f-glass, the 70 to 200 2.8, which just a few weeks ago I talked about the fact that I could hold on to the f-mount version a bit longer. It's doing a great job. But here's the thing, and this is sometimes the wind of change blows harder. I can really see the difference in the quality of the Z lenses versus the quality of the F lenses. And in harsh situations, backlight situations, chromatic aberration situations, they're very different. And it really isn't subtle, it's a big difference. It's chalk and cheese. And now I'm finding myself in all situations simply wanting to use the Z glass because it just gives me a very high end and a very clean outcome, significantly superior. And we need to think about the fact that F glass was designed in an era originally where there was no such thing as digital cameras. Now, of course, they've been able to add coatings to try and augment the F-mount design to work better with digital. But obviously some degree of legacy will hold over into the digital age. The beauty of the Z glass is it is designed full well knowing that it's living in a digital world and they can leverage everything they need to leverage to the utmost, also with computer-aided design, which didn't exist when the F glass was first being designed, to make very different, very powerful, exceptional glass. And that's what's happened. We have got lenses. As I've said it time and time again, these 1.8 lenses. So I was shooting with the 85mm 1.8 lens at 1.8, and I believe it looks significantly better than my 70 to 200 2.8. That's what I think. It looks better. It's controlling chromatic aberration, it's controlling flare, it's doing a much better job of it. Now, sure, it's not a zoom, but it's a relatively inexpensive lens which gives you it's a great lens for well, we're shooting on it right now. We are shooting on this lens right now, and it's perfect for a talking head sort of scenario. So this is why I love the Z6 and the Z7. We are having a far superior experience. We can do this with very affordable lenses. Basically, you could have a kit of a Z6 and an 85mm for extremely affordable price. And the reality is the Z50 for a locked off shot like this is on a tripod will give you 4K and give you an equally as good outcome. Although you might prefer the 50mm instead of the 85 because of the crop. Just something to think about. And the more I use it, the more I love it. I just can't say it enough that this glass is just superb, and the bang for the buck and the situations that I can throw at it, the backlight, all this sort of stuff, I'm very, very impressed. So I just wanted to pop this video out to say I'm using this gear, the Z gear, in the real world, and I'm enjoying it very, very much, and I'm learning more and more about it, and I will continue to say that these primes that we have today, even so some people want the 1.2s, that's great, I respect that, and there is a rumor starting to swirl that as I said just last week, that we are probably going to see more 1.2 lenses from Nikon before 2021 is over, and I suspect something like an 85 will be next. So that's all happening and that's all good, but please don't be misled by that 1.8 that's written on the lens. These are beautiful lenses that are giving us a great outcome. Well, that's exciting. So, you know how we were just talking about in the previous video, an exhibition, and I was printing and I was getting framing. Well, as we all know, there's a rather large event going on in the world at the moment, and this art show has just been cancelled. That exhibition is now not happening, so I'm now going to have an exhibition here in this space. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys live that sometimes things don't go to plan. Still love the Z6 and love the Z7 so much, and those lenses, they're just absolutely fabulous. The rain is starting to fall. It must be a sign. As always, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. It is so good to see you, and so good to see you, both of you. You're both looking so great. And wish me luck. If anybody wants one of the 10 pieces that I created on Monday that we saw getting printed, I'll give you a very good price, because it's now not going to be in an exhibition. Love to hear your thoughts about the Z6 and the Z7. Love to hear your thoughts about the 1.8s as always. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and please visit us here. We'll see you soon. Bye for now. I've got to go cry in the corner. Okay, bye.